But that's the conversation that I have with a lot of people. I used to be a real estate developer. Oh, really? I'm a currency trader. I have been for a while. I never used to be nothing. What were you before 2007? I used to be a real estate developer. Oh, really? Well, in 2007, I was a currency trader. 2008 was beautiful. What an awesome year that was. Yeah, that's true. I did actually, Jose. It's true. That turned out to be good too, right? It was a lucky year. I'm sure that's the peak of their selling season, huh? Yeah. What's going to happen to them in November, Kurt? So anyways, that's all I can take emotionally, because every time I do this I get mad, and I hope you do too, and I hope you leave with the understanding that nobody gives a crap about you. Nobody's going to take care of you, except yourself. The only people on this planet that love you, maybe perhaps your mother and the boot camp coaching staff. Nobody else gives a damn about you. And if you don't learn this stuff, the next time it crashes, there's going to be a few people that make $1 billion, and everybody else will lose the vast majority of their life savings. Where do you think the $1 billion came from, guys? Oh, John Paulson. Everybody loves John Paulson. John Paulson made $1 billion betting against the subprime real estate market. Well, where'd that $1 billion come from, guys? That's the part that pisses me off. And that there were people in place that were supposed to take care of you, and they didn't. Okay? So the next time if this happens, make $1 billion. Don't lose it. Cash out, buy some bonds. You'll be fine. And then what do? You buy at the bottom, guys. Now, when we were at the bottom, let me just very quickly do this. I might have lost the chart, maybe if I reload. I remember having debates and stuff when we were near the bottom. Down in here in 2009, my message to boot camp at that time is you cannot save your way into prosperity. I talked a lot about that back then. That you've got to buy back in. You can't just be like everybody else, watch it crash, cash out at the bottom, and then watch it rally, and then buy back in at the top. That was a big message that I gave many times, probably for that whole year. Okay? And when our big buy-in was that pullback to 8,000 on the Dow. Okay, so it wasn't like just buy because of 50%. I don't want to keep going in the speech because I've already run over half. And my message at the time is get ready, get ready, get ready. You need to buy back in. You need to buy low. You need to buy when people are still worried. And when this rally started, and I remember it because, I've only been a professional trader, a while. I'm not 75 years old with 45 years of experience, right? So my experience recently, there were two experiences I remember that I think were important to me personally as a trader. One is the day I went to the S&P 500 with Kurt. And we're over there, and we meet a professional trader who trades a 10-year T-note, and we go to the S&P 500 and such, and we walk around. And I left that day thoroughly having enjoyed it. Thank you to Rich for setting that up for us. Thoroughly enjoyed the day. It was quite an experience. It was quite literally like a child going to Disneyland for the first time, where most of it was a blur. It was so exciting, I don't think I could even keep my eyes focused. It was just like huge screens everywhere and hits and people yelling, and I felt like I was a ghost sort of like floating through the room. It was just so much stimuli that it was a dream. Just being there, it didn't seem real. And I left that day feeling like I could compete. I wasn't sure going in because it was like, oh, I'm a self-taught currency trader. What do I know, versus these professional floor traders? Are they going to make me look stupid? I came out thinking, you know what? I can compete with these guys. And it's not that they're doing anything wrong or something, but I felt confident in what I do and doing it. So that was the S&P 500 day. Okay. And that brought some personal confidence. Now, for me, again, personally, the second experience that I recall recently that gave me personal boost was when I was doing the cannot save your way back into prosperity mode in boot camp, when we had already done the 50% and started to bounce. And we were talking about QE1 and bailing out the banks and bailing out General Motors. And, it was really a crazy time. Okay? I mean, there was definitely uncertainty there. And money was flowing out of mutual funds. I mean, it wasn't pretty. Not an easy call. But I understand that once the stock market is down 50%, you need to buy any company that you think is going to be around in 25 years. It's exactly what I was saying back then. Okay? And every day at that time, I used to watch CNBC. I haven't turned it on in a very long time. But I used to watch CNBC there, and they made me really nervous because I was recommending buying. And buying and then looking for pullbacks, and the big one for the Dow was a pullback to 8,000. Everybody remembers this story because I was in Canada at the time, right? But we had talked about it weeks in advance. We set it up. We had it fibbed, and I mean we had it nailed, and it did come back. It did hit it, and it was a beautiful entry. Never came back. Just beautiful. I think you're up 1,000 points in a week. That's how good it was. But this whole period, the guys on fast money, who are highly respected, were bearish. They were bearish, they were bearish, they were bearish. Very similar to like when times were good and I was cashing out at the top, the guys in fast money were bullish, 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 bullish. And I was double guessing myself because I had already moved to Georgia. And I'm thinking, holy crap, sold my house, sold our portfolio, I moved away from our friends. Like all my best friends from college. I mean, we had a very large community of friends. We were like the center of many get-togethers every year. And when we go back to talk to our old friends in California, they're like, man, we haven't seen our old buddies in a long time. And it's because we used to throw all the parties. People would come over to our house and hang out with us, and that's how we kept the whole community of friends together most of the time. So we gave all that up and moved all the way to Georgia, and I'm watching TV, and the stock market's still going up, and the guys on fast money are like, buy, this is so good, and they're bringing in experts, oh yeah, this is so good, buy. I thought, holy crap. I have to tell my wife, a 1-year-old baby and our 3-month-old infant, that maybe I was wrong. Oops. I mean, holy crap, right? And of course, they were wrong. And I'm like, phew, caught that one. So then at the very bottom, I'm recommending the boot campers, in our discussions that, yeah, things are less than clear, and it's not a beautiful, clean, easy time, but I think it's time to buy. I think it's time to buy. We talked about it, and we did technical analysis, we did fundamentals, and Kurt and I had a lot of discussions because it was very complicated, murky. Some things look good and a lot of things look bad and all that. And my major argument back then is the stock market dropped 50%, and if you cashed out at the top, you got to get back in. And if you cashed out at the bottom, I mean, I feel sorry for you, son. They got 99 problems and that ain't one, right? So the professionals need to buy in, and I said, and we talked about that. And if the professionals don't invest the money, then the clients are going to ask for it back, and that means they got to get out of treasuries and they got to get back into the stock market. And we talked about all of this just months in advance, and yet at that time when I'm recommending let's look for opportunities to buy in, let's get in, buy any stock you think is going to be around for 25 years from now. Meanwhile, fast money is bearish. And I remember they had long conversations on fast money about, well, I don't like the rally, but I'm going to buy it, and as soon as I can, sell it, I'm going to sell it at this level. I'm going to sell it that way. They were unbelievably bearish. Unbelievably bearish. And yet the stock market is up, a lot. Okay, a lot since then. And so that was my personal experience where listening to media and TV, they were wrong at the top and they were wrong at the bottom. And I don't listen to anybody anymore. Because I don't think they give a crap. And Merrill Lynch, I love them. I respect my team. They're almost part of the family. But they did nothing. And they're not bad because no one else in that industry did anything either. So my plan with this fund is that if you're in an investment like a mutual fund,